Today I want to talk about the 10 ways to maintain your results of fat loss, weight loss over the holidays. Holidays are right around the corner, tons of good food, sweets. I'm sure you're excited. I'm excited. There's a lot of things that I want to eat. And the holidays are tough to maintain your results. They actually find that the average person maintains their weight all year. And then once we get into the holidays, over that time, people gain anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds and then maintain that the rest of the year. And then the next holidays come and people gain another 3 to 6 pounds. And year after year, people are getting fatter. And it's really due to Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So I just want to talk about how we can eliminate that and keep our progress or even see more progress over the holidays. So I hope these 10 steps help. Step 1 is pretty simple and it's more of a mindset change. So you're probably trying to lose weight, you're in a calorie deficit, and we want to just switch our mindset over to it's okay to eat more than what my macros have been at. So step 1 is don't go into the holidays in a calorie deficit. We both know that's not going to happen. You are not going to be able to maintain your calorie deficit over the holidays. You know, you're going to eat a ton of food multiple days in a row or multiple weeks in a row. And to think that you can just will yourself to not eat all that food and stick to your macros over that time is not realistic, and it's actually gonna form a dysfunctional eating because you're telling yourself, I can't have it because I have to stick to my macros, which the more you tell yourself I can't have it, the more you're just going to overindulge and binge like crazy at a later date. Just like, you tell kids, you can't have it, you can't have it. They're just going to lash out and eventually go crazy on that end of the spectrum. You want to just change your mindset and say, okay, I can have this, it's fine. It's just for a week, I've been good the whole year, and now it's time to, not be perfect. You don't have to be perfect all the time. And this is one of those times to just enjoy the food and change your mindset and realize it's okay. I don't have to stick to my macros right now. And that leads us to step 2, which is kind of similar, also has to do with mindset, and that is change your relationship to the food. If you're anything like me, you love to just kind of stuff your face during this time and you're not even really thinking about the food that you're eating. You're so concerned about what else you want to have that you're just trying to scarf this down, rush it in, eat as fast as possible so you can have seconds or reach for the thing you couldn't fit on your plate. And it's more of a race to see how much you can eat, and you don't even really enjoy the food that much. You're just looking forward to the next bite and not what's actually in your mouth at the time. Change your relationship and actually think about the food that you're eating. Just slow down and enjoy the food. That's the biggest thing. Just enjoy what's on your plate, enjoy what's in your mouth, chew it, acknowledge what you're eating in the moment versus, oh boy, the mashed potatoes are getting low on the table. I want to make sure I can get seconds. I hope someone else doesn't finish their plate before me and then I can't get seconds. Just slow down, eat what's on your plate, wait 10 minutes before you go back for seconds, let it digest, let that pause happen so you're not just scarfing yourself. Just take that pause and think about what you're eating and just enjoy it. That leads me to step 3, which is save your calories for the meal. A lot of times people have snack trays, different snacks and goodies out before the meal, and people are just kind of digging in, just kind of eating to fill time because they're bored, or maybe they are hungry because it's a late dinner or a late lunch or something like that. But the biggest thing is save your calories for the meal. Think about it as, you want to enjoy all the food that you only get to eat once a year, and nuts, like all those snacks, whether it's crackers or nuts or whatever it is that it might be, those you can have any time of the year. They're not special. So it's not really worth the calories of eating the non-special food that you can have anytime you want. So just eat the food that you only get once a year, the food that you all look forward to. Just focus on getting all your calories through that and not snacking beforehand, because all that snacking beforehand is just going to up the calories substantially for really no value. It's not like that food is that great. It's not like that food is special. Just try to eat the food that's special, that someone else made, that you truly look forward to, and get your calories through that type of food alone. That's only going to just drop your calories in general. And you're only going to eat the food that really matters. Step 4 is eat your protein first. So most of us look forward to all the carbs in the meal more than the protein. Just eat your protein first. So tell yourself, I can have all the potatoes, I can have all the corn, I can have all the sweets, I can have all these things. I just have to eat the protein first. And what that's going to do is, again, that's going to actually end up dropping the amount of calories you consume, because protein is the most satiating, protein is the most filling thing on the table. So the more protein you eat, the less hungry you're gonna be. So just by eating the protein first, you're going to naturally eat less of the unhealthy foods. Not to mention, the protein is probably the most healthy thing on the table. So if you're having turkey or ham or something like that, like the protein's gonna be the most healthy thing on the table, compared to everything else that's loaded with butter and cheese and tons of unhealthy ingredients. So just stick to, I can have everything I want. I just need to eat the protein first. And that's going to lead to a healthier meal and healthier choices. Step 5 is keep your unhealthy choices to the day of the celebration only. So that means don't take leftovers home. That can be difficult because everyone's pushing off their leftovers, or maybe you're the one hosting the event. If you're hosting the event, try to push all the leftovers away. Try to give them to everyone else so you're not eating that all week. And if you're someone who's at someone else's houses, they're trying to give you leftovers, just take the healthy choices. Once again, just try to take the protein, minimize the amount of carbs and sweets you take home, especially the desserts and the sweets. Try to minimize that and just bring home the protein, because one day of really bad eating, even if you go just completely off the rails and eat just 7,000-8,000 calories that day, that one day of really high calorie isn't going to make you gain a bunch of body fat. That one day is fine. But eating high calories every day for a week because you have all these leftovers, that's where you're going to start to see more of the weight gain. And that's where you really start to have those issues of keeping your progress. So just try to limit the unhealthy choices to the day only and take the healthier leftovers home. Step 6 really goes hand in hand with step 5, and that's that you're not going to gain a ton of body fat in one day. This has a lot more to do with your mindset than the physical action, and that's just realizing that I don't have to stress myself out and just overwhelm myself and be worried that I'm gonna gain a bunch of body fat today because I have this holiday celebration. Just tell yourself it's okay to eat unhealthy and to eat a calorie surplus one day. That's completely fine. It's just you want to limit it to that one day. So if you know you're having Christmas and all these celebrations this weekend, let's say, don't eat like garbage during the week. Clean the week up leading up to it, and let yourself enjoy the food that weekend. One day is totally fine. You just want to minimize how many days you're having and try to just compress all the unhealthy choices to one day, because that's totally fine, and just realizing that. Step 7 is to work out to build muscle. We already know we're eating in a calorie surplus, and a lot of people think, okay, I'm going to go kill myself in the gym, burn a whole bunch of calories in order to offset the calories I'm going to be consuming. Believe me, you will not be able to offset it, especially depending on the desserts you're having. You could eat one cookie that's 500 calories, not to mention all the rest of the food that you're eating, all the alcohol you're consuming. You will not be able to offset the amount of calories you consume in workouts. So that's a terrible strategy, and you will lose. And what you should think instead is, I'm already eating a bunch of calories. There's no way I can offset it. So why don't I try to make these calories put to good use and just try to build as much muscle as you can over this time. Eliminate the cardio, strength train, try to put on muscle, because you have to be in a calorie surplus to build muscle anyway. You're already in a calorie surplus. There's nothing you can do about it. So just try to build muscle during this time, and just try to make good use of the calories that you're already going to be consuming. Step 8 is practice fasting. You're going to be eating a big meal at the celebration. If you've never fasted, this is a great time to practice fasting. So try not eating until the meal that day to basically just keep your calories lower. Now, the big thing with fasting that I will caution you on is you don't want to go into it with a binge restrict mentality of, I'm not going to eat the whole day leading up just so I can go crazy the meal of. You want to instead think about it as, I'm going to restrict all day and not eat, just so that way I don't ruin my palate and I can enjoy the food better during the meal. And all this is going to do is lower your calories. If you don't eat breakfast, you don't eat lunch, and then you eat the meal, you're not going to be able to eat as many calories in the whole day, because you're not going to be able to consume the amount of calories in one meal that you can consume in 3 meals. You'll get full too quickly in one sitting doing that. So this is just going to minimize your overall calories, and that is step 8. Step 9 is just go for a walk after the meals. What usually happens is we eat this big meal, we're all carb loaded, and we feel terrible after the meal. So the big thing is, because we're not moving, we're sitting all day, we're not moving, we feel just awful, all this food sitting in our stomach like a big weight. And the best thing you can do is just go for a walk 10 to 20 minutes. You're not going for the calorie burn. Yes, you're having some added calorie burn, okay, but it's not really the point of it. You're not burning that many calories in a little walk. The big point is it's going to improve your digestion, and you're just going to feel better. You're not going to move to the living room, fall asleep, struggle to stay awake, and just really regret your decisions that you made at the dinner table. You're just going to feel so much better after that slight bit of movement. It's a good time to talk to family members if you can get any of them out for a walk with you, and just overall feel better. And step 10 is just eat enough to be satisfied. That's probably one of the biggest things that causes so much weight gain over the holidays, is just the fact that we don't stop and wait before we go back for seconds. We stuff ourselves until we're uncomfortable and we physically hurt. That's not even enjoyment at that point. Just enjoy the food. Just eat until you're satisfied. You're gonna enjoy the mashed potatoes, whether you have 1 scoop or 5 scoops. Either way, you get to enjoy the mashed potatoes. You don't have to have 5 scoops in order to enjoy them. You can enjoy them with 1 scoop. Eat until you're satisfied. Don't eat until you're uncomfortably full. Well, I hope those 10 steps help. Let me know which steps you're planning on doing down in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and throw it a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the next videos I have coming.